backside is called Vision of Peace. That's why the whole project is called Vision of Unity and Peace. You come actually walk in here, there's a sign that says Vision of Unity and Peace. Or I call it VOPE, make it short. Now, if we get more in details about the art itself, we have it in 6 different series. The first series is 1,673 visions. Some of them have been released. For vision number 2 is in the front. And then we have the 3 hearts. You guys saw the 3 hearts right there? We have the 14 missions. Those are the last 14 paintings. This shares how we can manifest them. These missions can elaborate how these visions are going to be manifested. And then we have the eye, and then we have the 40 olive branch, and then we have 272 national or territorial flags. United Nations only recognizes 193, as far as we know, but this has 272 country flags and islands, and I'm going to get a little bit more in detail about this. So the 3 hearts, we know what that is. The 14 missions are the last 14 paintings. The first painting, it starts from the bottom and it just goes like a zigzag and all the way to the last one, it goes to the top. Those are the last 14 missions. Those are one-off. The first one is actually when all of these vision abstract faces come together. And that's why this painting is called Coming Together. That's mission 1 right there behind you guys. This is the only painting that I actually painted on oil. 2004. The second mission is actually, you see water. You see these 4 elements: water, fire, air, earth. The first one is called flow, getting in a flow. The second one, you see fire. It's called the rising, rise. It's time to rise. The fourth one is called calling. You see a lot of motion, wind. There's a calling that coming up. And the fifth one is called co-create. You see earth in there. You see everything is being created. The sixth is called missions, unconditional love. Now it's time to unconditionally love each other. The next one is called heart to heart. While we are actually practicing conditional, we starting to recognize maybe there is 2 hearts. Maybe there's this physical heart and there's this spiritual heart. And when they're coming in unity and they're in balance and equilibrium, these all people are kind of recognizing and witnessing all the warm colors and all the cold colors. That's what the bottom painting representing symbolically. Unity and peace in action. Now let's get together and let's really put it into action. A lot of our are very concerned. I have been concerned. What's going on? But we are passive. We just don't know what we do. I see myself helpless. Now it's time to, instead of being passive, it's time to put some action to it. And that's what you are here in another way of however you can see yourself. This is something you can contribute to put these things to action. The next one is called benefit all, gifting love. Is the charity component. It's the charity. We basically what this brand is all about is art inspiring global peace and give half to charities. Anything that is actually being sold, or we profit from, half of the proceeds is going to go to charities. And that's what the logo represents. Tomorrow, if somebody buys a t-shirt, Ehsan t-shirts, they know that half of that is going to touch humans in need. From art to all the merchandises that we come to release. The last paintings, the last 3 paintings, Mission 12 is called The Source. We see all of these colors of rainbow, which is us, are circulating around infinite love. And the 13th mission, which is next to the last painting, is actually all of these hearts are being gravitated or returning to the source. It's called Return to Source. And it's actually inspired by how the black hole and the galaxies are being gravitated toward the black hole. That's what this was painted, inspired by. The last painting, the 2000 painting, is a prayer. It talks about our Creator that is made of unconditional love. all of these wonderful attributes, infinite. And there is a description about it. It talks about mankind, that without our creator, how small we are. We are smaller than a speck. And we need constant guidance. And there's a prayer. It talks about praying for everlasting peace. And then there's a vision. The vision is talking about when you do good deeds, your imprints will be immortal. And our center is from the heart. That's what this painting is in short what we're talking about. Then we have the eye. Then we have the branch. Then we have the flags. The flags are the only one that I did not hand paint them. Because my intention is to invite artists that living in those countries, invite them to paint the flags for us. So that would be artists in action, coming to unity and paint it together. And it is intended to invite top artists, world-renowned artists. Imagine we have Damien Hirst painting the UK, Jeff Koons playing the US. Major world-class artists, we want to invite them and see if they're interested. And then we're just going to go from there. All of the digital design that I did are going to ultimately, if anybody hand-painted, going to from distance, going to look like this. The map is also going to be in the UK has its own map. US, Italy. You see the whole map in there. You see what the whole territory is. Brazil, for example. China. So ultimately, as I'm Googling, as I'm doing research, I'm recognizing this is potentially the largest peace painting, or it could even be the largest painting ever made in the history. But I'm not going to claim that, but it definitely is the largest peace painting ever made so far. Now, what is the mission statement? The mission statement is only three. The first, to inspire global peace and be a global symbol demonstrating that through unity, peace is possible. The second mission is actually be a major fine art luxury brand and give half of their proceeds to better charities. Imagine like you buy Picasso's work, or you buy like a Louis Vuitton and you know half of it's going to go to charity. And then the third is build VOP centers around the globe so we can actually expand this message, inspire our children. They see there is a station there that they can actually look up to it. So that can create more and more of that vibration. So I'm going to talk about number 2 and number 3. Number 1 is basically the art itself already explaining it, and I'm kind of sure. Number 2, the art have 4 different type of product. The first product is originals. The second is limited editions. We all know what limited editions is. And NFTs, the phenomenon of NFTs, the third type of product that we have released. And the fourth one is all the merchandises that we can create, all the commercial side of it. The first 3 are asset class. These are intended to be built like a real estate. You buy something, in the next decade or 2 or a few years from now, you're going to increase in value. That's what art, the power of art is. You bought Picasso's work when he was 40, like young, and 50 years later, we know what the prices are. This is kind of, I want you guys kind of understanding what this is about. So the originals, we are starting from 1 million to 10 million. These are intended to attract, and it is very unique, it's one and only. So they attract the 1% of the 1% of the world. They can fly with a jet and collect this. Or anybody. There's a lot of people, who has a lot of gas station, he is interested to buy one of these. So people who want to kind of buying a house, for example, anybody, middle class can do that too, if they want to see this as well. But this is how it starts. With the agreement to allowing the artist can display it and gonna hold on to it until the big display happens, and also allowing the artist or the company can borrow at any type of a future display, or if there's like a Louvre museum or any type of major auction or like an art expo, anything that happens, we can display those. And that creates value for the owner and us. The more eyeballs you get, the more increase in value is gonna happen. So that's kind of what's very normal. Art works like that. This is kind of what the prices is. something I put up for Richard just to be clear. The first 40 is the one that I'm actually releasing it right now. Those are half off, but that's kind of what the pricing is around. Now, this is something, a concept that Richard came up, and I think that is a very genius idea as we are tapping into the NFT market and the fractional token, all of that. These 3 paintings are the only 3 paintings, which is the heart, which is the Holy Spirit and the Father and the Son, are actually released, that people that actually can collect them as a fractional. So each painting, these 3 paintings, each of them are actually $3 million each. So they're gonna come in 1,000 fraction, each painting, and then you can collect 1 fraction, 1 token for $3,000. And that's something Richard can talk about it. This is more affordable, but you have an ownership of the originals. Like similar to stock, very simple as that, right? So limited editions are basically, they're gonna only be 2,000 of them. And they're gonna have a certificate of authenticity, in NFT format, they're gonna have a fingerprint, they're gonna be signed, they're gonna be numbered 1 out of 2,000, 2 out of 2,000, 3 out of 10, and they're gonna be exactly like the originals. They're gonna come in 2 sizes. Original size, which is 42 by 40, or half size. Some people think this is also something that has not been released. Price is gonna be around that. And that's something we are actually creating prototype in the next few months. We're gonna have those released. People can actually own them and put it in the house. It's gonna look really interesting. They're gonna have a link, they're gonna have a map inside of it. That has not been released yet. The NFTs are the one that actually we have released them. We only released about 2 months ago. Over 100 of them already has been collected. This is something it's going really fast. People who understand the phenomenon NFT really, like what yesterday, we sold 20 of them, right? 19 of them. People are just really buying them really fast. So we only have 2 type of NFT designs. The first is the Vogue collections, which is this, okay? So for example, this is called, what is that called? It's called Coming Together. The painting goes right in the middle. The design is describing what this middle is about, where it's located from the front and the back, what the whole story is about, what the ultimate mission from the front and the back side. Everything is being elaborated. So that's what you get. For example, this painting is the heart right here. Somebody already collected it. Goes right in the middle, and then you get this whole story. The whole story comes with it. That's what the uniqueness about this digital design is. Country of India, it shows exactly where it is located. So it's going to be only 2,000 of these. The next things that we actually released, those are more cost effective right now. It's going to be the Dove collection, NFT Dove collection. They're going to come in 2,000 color shades, and only 28 of the colors has been released yet. And then kind of look like this. You can also, additionally, when you collect the NFTs, you can get a canvas print, and then I'm going to sign it for you guys. This also in a canvas, I'm going to sign it as a memory. You can take it, some additional. So this is the pricing right now. As a matter of fact, the NFT Vogue collection is going to be 10,000, because I promised to everybody that anybody, once we hit the 100 painting, we're going to increase the price. It's very similar to land. You have a whole bunch of land, and once there's a demand, you have to increase in price. So that's kind of what NFT is similar to. So this 8,000, we are going to keep it to end of this year because of the holiday season. After the January, is going to be reset to 10,000. The NFT Dove collections, that's the numbers. At least once we sell the 28 of them, that's going to be reset to 4,000. The merchandise is something that we're going to release in the future. Now again, half of all the proceeds is going to go to charities. So the mission 3, the last mission, as a company, we are building Vogue Center. We're going to build the first Vogue Center. Very 90% sure it's going to happen in Orange County Great Park. They came here, the mayor was sitting right there where Dr. Mark was, And the whole team was here. It was about 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. I gave them a presentation. They fell in love with it, and I'm going to share it more. So what is this about? When it has a very strong frame, you can create structurally safe. You protect all the wind. And inside of the bottom is going to be those top programming, those activities. This is ultimately what I'm excited to build, because this is going to be something permanent. And people can come, and our children can go, and they can get inspired. That's what ultimately this means. From one side, from the front side, and the back side of it has this walking, we call the shadow. We have this. People actually can walk and have an experience of it. And from the front back side, some pictures that we've done. So this is just a primarily designed architect. We have a world-renowned architect that's actually working on it, and we designed it in a way that is actually practical and realistic, and it's going to look very beautiful. Inside of it, we have a center. We have this whole glow. It's going to be a peaceful sanctuary. People can go in there and just connect. And what are these different 5 themes that we are thinking to build in there? The first is going to be some kind of spiritual center, as I mentioned. Some kind of meditation hall. People can just go within. And also, how about if we have an interfaith center, interfaith programs, bringing all different religions come together, no judgment, just sharing the prayers, the way they actually connect. How powerful that would be. And that is happening in California. It's very powerful. I have attended to many of those. It's just phenomenal. You see Christians, you see Muslims, you see Buddhists, you see Jewish. They all come together, and all they do, they share like how they connect to their source, to their creator, whatever they believe. And after the session, everybody's just like extremely connected, glowing. It seems that there's just one thing, we're just talking about the same thing. Charity department and community centers that were all cultures, all countries, all languages have a representation there. Like a kid goes, oh, this is Brazil, I want to learn about Brazil, I want to learn about South Korea, I want to learn about this. They can just go and just have an experience about it. A space for people can do community work together, doing workshop. There's a lot of amazing speakers out there. They can come over there and just kind of, inspire. How amazing that we can do that. We can do like classes. There's so many things that you can do in the community center. The art center is very obvious. We're going to have the 2000, but we also want to have a gallery that embraces all artists, all type of artwork. There's a line to the message. There's so many beautiful talent out there. And how about we have images of the whole universe, our galaxy, our animals, our plants, like the little kiddos goes here, okay, we see an elephant, a picture elephant there, we see a bee there, we see a little cat over there. All the pictures of the animals you have in the representation that we can remember that we had the love here. And we see a picture of all galaxies, we see like how small we are. Let's be a little bit humble. So that could be an amazing space to also create that. And a concert, shows, performing art that is aligned to the message. There's so many things, most powerful ways, music is the most powerful way to connect to the heart. And business side of it's eco-friendly goods and products. You can name it, electric cars, organic food. There's so many technologies that's coming when we have a space for it. You can have a store there. And a garden. We can even have a beautiful organic food restaurant that have all the foods around the globe. All different country foods that you can go and experience the food and good culture. And a beautiful garden that actually represents all the plants, all the flowers, all the fruits around the globe. You can actually walk and see, okay, this is what's going on in the planet. So these are just the technical design about it. Now this is Great Park. You been in Great Park, Roger? So they has an orange balloon. It has a lot of soccer fields. It's going to be one of the biggest parks is in the conversation. About 1,400 acres, give and take. Right now, I think about 400 acres of it has been built. And I went and gave a presentation to one of the city council members. She was actually, back then, she was actually the chairman of Great Park, and her name was Farah Khan. 2 years ago, I gave that presentation. She cried. She said, I want to pitch it to the mayor. And then the pandemic happened, and then she became the mayor, and I invited her. She was here, and and this is what I presented to. I said, you have an amazing balloon, amazing soccer field. End of the day, they're all generic. Do you have an Eiffel Tower? Do you have a Statue of Liberty? When you do that, you're going to put the whole something like this that can attract, has a message. Imagine the city of Irvine would be the first city that embraced global peace. How amazing, how proud our children, the grandchildren would be to just go over there and just say, wow, Irvine was one of the first people that, cities that actually made that happen. And now we're experiencing that. Like we go and see like places, Martin Luther King, you go places that with Gandhi, what they did, and then you look at those monuments and say like, look, India is free right now. And there is social justice right now. So imagine that we build it in city. Imagine that we all are the one that actually support the cause. We will put the city on the map. We're going to create national, international attraction. That will just be the byproduct. We're going to attract art enthusiasts, collectors, people that are into luxury items, scholars, celebrities, medias, and global leaders. They were even talking about we want to invite the Pope to come here when this is built. So this is the mayor. She's a wise lady. She comes from a background that gets it, that understands it. Right now, I just watched some news that she's being attacked by racism, and stuff like that. People are just attacking her, and that reminded me when I was in Sweden. I was born in Sweden, but people just because I had a dark hair, they were treating me like an outsider. Many of us have experienced that. But ultimately, when I look at that person, I see we are one. They just don't know it enough. So she said, let's take some pictures. We took some pictures, let's push it out on social media. I said, okay, let's do it. She said, can you build this? I'm going to give you the land. I'm going to give you even a gallery. Why don't you even move over here? Can you build it? Can you fund this? 2 months ago, I said, I don't know. It's going to be a lot of money. I don't know how much it's going to cost. Now I know it's going to be 10 million to build this. And then once I build this, all the NFT collectors, all the art collectors will be securing their asset class. And as a matter of fact, I have an investor that is really in the middle of the conversation, wrote a $10 million check a couple of weeks ago. Well, last week.
Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday like this.
Like 7 days ago.
Yes.
Wrote us he was sitting right here. This was his second visit. And AJ is part of the 1%. We meet millionaires. We'll meet sometimes billionaires in our lifetime. We never meet the 1%. So that gentleman handles the money of the kings and queens of this world. Okay, the presidents of this world. So he came here. He fell in love with the art. He fell in love with the message. He fell in love with what we're doing. He said, Richard, you and Ehsan are the leaders to make this a realization in the world that we all stand for peace and unity. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my CFO. He called his CFO. He's actually texted him because he didn't want to disturb the... And then he said, here's your $10 million check. On top of the $10 million, you can get $14 million in line of credit. So you got $24 million to build your monument right now. Go melt it. And then we said, well, what's the catch? He says, I don't want to control it. I don't want to own it. I don't want shares. You guys go and do this. And this is what 1%ers do when they decide to give. And so this is what has happened. What does that mean to you? Is you are now, all the stuff that he's saying right now, in your opportunist mind is that if I can get piece of him, and I can own that, something is going to happen in my life in a very short period of time. That's what I've talked about in the beginning. How do you tie this in? Great, Ehsan, this is awesome, you did amazing, but the heroes are you guys. Ehsan and I, we can be here and gone. Life happens like that, right? The point is that the message, the idea, we can never kill the idea of unity and peace. And you guys are the messengers. You guys are the heroes. And so we want more heroes. We want these tribe members. And you do it for the money. You do it for love. You do it for being a stand in the community. So, didn't want to steal your ending. Go ahead, please.
No problem. I'm almost finished. So basically, she said, let's give you a gallery. This is a gallery. We are in a conversation. We're strategically planning and kind of coming to some dialogue how to actually implement this. The first step, the mayor can actually has power to build this. You can do it temporary, something like this. We're going to install this. The people can actually, it's movable. We can install it, or we can keep it there. So people can actually have the experience of seeing every original work, the art itself. And from distance, you can see the whole piece sign, like that. Or we have a big stand or something. So that's the ultimate goal. This is going to cost me 10 million to do it. That gentleman came last week. We're still vetting him. I'm going to do my work. I don't know, but it looks like 90% is happening. So basically, ultimately, because I want to build this, I mean, 10 million is going to be low. The strong thing is going to definitely help us to take it to make it 100 million by next year. But ultimately, when we have real cash flow, we have real people that are actually supporting the cause, actually going to make it happen. So that's what I'm more interested in. I want to see people that can see themselves in this. This is a time that more than ever, that's why I'm giving 50% off. NFTs are 50% off. The first 40 originals are 50% off at this time, because I need to raise that $20 million cash. When I do that, then we are very strong. Everything becomes secure. All of your collections that I'm mentioning, all the people I collected in the past, you will secure it. All I need is a couple of names, a few celebrities, a few billionaires that purchase this, and the rest of it is history. And that is happening too. We are talking. His name was Hong.
Yeah, Huang Yu.
Yeah,
we got a couple of billionaires are getting into this. So
we are connecting to Oprah. I feel in my heart there's something about Oprah when she sees this, she wants to support this. So we are positioning ourselves strong in order to share this message. This message. Imagine a vision of everlasting global peace. Imagine perhaps it will come in reality in this millennium. Maybe in the next 100 years or 50 years, who knows? I was always thinking another 500 years, but it couldn't be possible. The way how fast this is moving, because we have hearts. Anybody who has a heart can connect to this message, because it's a heart-based message. More than ever, it is needed to be heard. These 2,000 artwork is the hope of that dream. Is the crescendo of that grassroots level. People like young like that already can get it. They understand it. The millennials are doing it, and all elder people, everybody are doing it some way or another. But this is something that's going to be one of those engines, or like one of those rivers that are going to bring us to the ocean of global peace. All of us are like little drops. We're all going to get there. So the Vogue Center, this 2,000 painting, is a representation of that. I'm not here to become an artist, a famous artist. I'm not here for the money. These are as an instrument, but my focus has always been 10 years in my parents' garage, sitting in the dust while I could go and hang out and do a whole bunch of things. Wasn't necessary that, because I knew in my heart that this is happening, something going to touch trillions, billions of people. All children are going to look up to this. That's what I here for. I'm staying strong here, and I have, with or without anybody. Before I was doing it all by myself. Now I'm blessed that there's like dozens of people, and more now, are supporting the cause. People with deep pockets is helping me. People with talents are helping me. Collectors are just walking because they feel this. We are doing this because one and only thing, to finally heal this thing that has needed to be healed. This wound, this mass destruction, killing. This is a very deep topic. There is time to heal. The only time to heal is through this. There's going to be a lot of emotion, but it's time to do so because for the sake of our children. So that's where you guys are here, and I was just blessed to use this instrument, an international language, and it's going to be monumental, like Sistine Chapel. You look at Sistine Chapel. I looked that up, and that made me to create this. And when I'm being an instrument to create this, I know they're going to be billions of children looking into this and going to create their own beautiful masterpiece. Thank you so much.